Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. Big podcast today. We're talking about college basketball for the first time in a while. There have been some disruptions in some off-season practices, preseason practices.
St. Andrews has moved to Tier 3. No longer indoor practices allowed.
Okay, I want to get your reactions on whether you think the changes of the season happens all the way through, and how many games you think will be canceled throughout the year?
17. I was thinking 24, 25 maybe. Is that the over-under? Yeah, I mean, that's the over-under. I'll take the over. When you're thinking about St. Andrews and the Bucks divisions over there, I mean, I don't know if they're going to have a season. It just doesn't seem likely to me. Well, saying that they've already canceled the season, that would be a good bet. Yeah, it doesn't seem likely they're going to play at all, considering that they already canceled. That's a good call, Mike. They've already announced that. Good call.
Okay, you have anything else to say about this?
No, it's a stupid topic. Are we just talking about St. Andrews?
You can expand to other teams if you want.
What?
You can expand to other teams if you want.
Oh, I don't know about Sterling. I don't think they're playing either. Who else is there? Like Edinburgh? Who knows? It doesn't seem like they're playing either, considering that the season's canceled.
All right, fine. You don't want to talk about this? Let's move on. Michigan State opens as the number.
Aberdeen might be able to, but they have no one to play.
Okay, Michigan State, as I said, number 13 team in the country. Let's do a quick preview of the Spartan season. How do you think they will fare this year?
Obviously, when you have Tom Izzo as your coach, you're going to have a decent year. They're going to be a top 5, top 4 team in the Big Ten probably once again. They have a lot of minutes they need to replace. But I think Rocket Watts will step up big this year. He'll have a longer leash. Tom Izzo will let him play a little bit more than he did last year. But Michigan State, they'll be good. Yeah, Michigan State, once again, probably co-favorite to win the Big Ten once again. Whenever you have Tom Izzo, you could have a bunch of scrubs out there that still finish top 4, top 5 in the Big Ten because he is Mr. Big Ten. But this team, these aren't some scrubs out there. These are some good players. I think Izzo said this might be the best defensive team he's had in a while, and teams are gonna struggle to score against them. I think the big X factor for Michigan State is going to be Foster Loyer coming into his junior year. We're going to see if he can make that big step. He made a big step from his freshman year to his sophomore year. He went from averaging like 2 minutes a game to 5 minutes a game. Let's see if he can double that again, maybe average 10 minutes a game. That would really help. Man, listen, they've got some young, talented, big guys. I think Izzo said he wanted to go big man by committee this year, which I think you can do in today's college basketball. The point guard position's a little bit more concerning, but they've still got Rocket Watts. Like Luke said, he's more of a 2 guard, but we're gonna see if he can transition into the point guard position. Maybe Foster Loyer can play some more meaningful minutes there. But this team is very talented. Joshua Langford, he's kind of the wild card. We don't really know what we're going to get from him. He comes out, has a great season. You never know. Michigan State could once again win the Big Ten for the 4th straight year. They're right up there again. I think they'll be top 3, top 4 maybe in the Big Ten. Possible they have a chance to win it. And their non-conference is not like Michigan. They actually have some good teams. So we'll see how they fare early in the year with a lot of new guys in the rotation.
Yeah, I think Michigan State's a very, very interesting team. I'll take a look at their schedule first. I give Tom Izzo some credit. They do have a tough non-conference schedule, especially relative to Michigan. but I'll get to that in a second, in a little bit. I think they might struggle early in the season like they usually do. I think they're kind of a relatively young team. No, that Notre Dame game might be a surprise loss for a lot of Spartans fans. But we'll see. I think this team they're pretty good. They're a top 25 team. You lose your two best players from last year. Your only good offensive player they lost from last year. If they're going to have a chance to win the Big Ten, Rocket Watts is going to really need to take the next step, obviously, and Foster Loyer will need to take the next step as well.
I'm not worried about Foster Loyer. He's going to be very good this year.
They had a couple good 4-stars come in. Hopefully they can get some playing time for him this year. But I think Michigan State is they're a top 5.
Oh, I forgot about the best Hauser twin. That's going to be he's a great shooter. He's a great pick and pop player. They can play through him. Great passer. He's kind of, instead of having the offense run through Winston, we can have it run through him. It's not just going to be the point guard. And he can post up back to the basket. He can shoot the rock, as Dick Vitale says. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be a big part of this team, and we're going to win the Big Ten this year for the 4th straight year.
Yeah, he's a solid player.
And then we're going to win the Big Ten tournament for the 3rd time in 4 years.
Yeah, Michigan State has won the Big Ten, I believe, one of the last 3 years.
No, it'll be 4 of the last 4 after this year.
So, yeah, I think Michigan State's a top 5 team in the Big Ten. They're a solid team. But, yeah, that's all I have to say about them. All right. Michigan, preview.
Might be the most overrated team in the Big Ten this year. Second most overrated team in the Big Ten this year. Juwan Howard has shown no coaching ability whatsoever. On the bright side, they'll make the tournament because he's scheduled the weakest non-conference schedule I've ever seen, so they're somehow going to get to 30 wins, even though they only play 27 games. And that's just how Michigan operates. They cheat their way to the top, and that's how it'll be again this year.
I mean, in the Big Ten, I think you got the Big Four teams.
It's
Illinois,
the Big Three.
Wisconsin.
Stop kidding yourself. It's the Big Three.
No, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Iowa. I have it in that exact order right now.
Iowa is going to be the biggest bust of the year. Most overrated team in the country.
Well, I don't have them number 1 like a lot of people have in the Big Ten. I have them
I don't have them in the top 5. So,
well, I don't know about that. And I have Rutgers 5, Ohio State 6, and I've moved Michigan above Indiana at number 7. I have Michigan number 7 in the Big Ten right now, which is a lot higher than they were last year. They finished number 9, and they lost their 2 best players from last year's team. It's going to be a struggle because Juwan Howard hasn't proved he can coach at all. You always see these NBA guys go to college and they always struggle. I don't see anything different here. He struggled last year. He was a bad coach, making horrible decisions on what defenses to play. And he's got a rough non-conference schedule. If he loses any games in the non-conference, Michigan's in trouble. They're on the bubble. If they lose any of those games. And then the last 6 games of the season for them are tough. I mean, they got Michigan State twice. Rutgers is in there. Iowa's in there, I believe. It's a tough way to end the year. They better come out and they better be playing their best basketball at the end of the year because if they're not, they might go 0-6 to end the year.
Yeah, I think Michigan's another really interesting team. I would put them probably number 5 in the Big Ten. They're close with Michigan State, but it's the top 3. The top 3, and we'll get to that in a second.
Close to Michigan State? Are you on crack?
Well, I look at who you lost, and you lost your only 2 good players.
I look at who you lost. You lost your number 1 assist man in program history. How about that?
Okay, he couldn't shoot.
And you lost the guy who even you said was a great generational type big man.
He is a generational type big man.
Yeah, he's gone. You can't replace him.
Yeah, generationally bad.
All right. Well, yeah, and I'm really disappointed in Michigan's non-conference schedule. As Mike said, they need to win all 5 of those games. I expect them to win all 5 of those games.
How do you have 5 and we have 7?
I don't know.
What the hell is that?
It's really disappointing.
We have 7 too.
And if you look at Michigan's schedule, and this is giving me nightmares to last year. If they play like they should, they're going to start the season 11-0 because they don't play anybody good until they play Wisconsin on January 12th.
Yeah, they'll be ranked like number 2 in the country again, and we saw it happen.
Yeah, I know.
They were just terrible last year.
Yeah. So what? But I think of what happened last year, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen this year. Is we won that tournament earlier in the season, and we got up to number 4, and then we had a target on our back the rest of the year. And I think this.
Give me a fucking break.
Or you were just overrated.
I think this year they're flying a little under the radar. People don't really expect them to be much more than just a solid tournament team, and I think this is going to be a really, really good team. Sports Illustrated said that Michigan is the sleeper team to win this conference. And I agree with that.
What is that, the regular season or the tournament?
I don't know. I would assume they're talking about the tournament, of course, but I don't know.
Listen, Michigan was never had a target on their back. They're in the top 10 for about a week, and then they lost to Illinois, and then Michigan State absolutely blew the doors off of them. And boom, they're outside the top 15, and nobody cares.
They had a target.
All of a sudden, they lose like 10 straight games.
They had a target on their back. Really, they really did.
No. Michigan's a soft team. They've always been soft.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah, I expect this team to be pretty good. This should be in the top 25 for most of the year. Isaiah Livers back. He's the third best player in the Big Ten. Really happy to have him back. Franz Wagner, big get that he came back after almost going to the NBA. That would have been interesting.
Where would he go?
The NBA.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah, Eli Brooks is back, obviously. Great leader for this team.
If he sees the floor, Michigan's not making the tournament. It's as simple as that.
Who?
Eli Brooks. If he sees the floor at all.
He's a starting point guard.
You're kidding me, right?
No.
You're not starting that guy from Yale or where the hell he came
Columbia. Yeah, he'll probably start.
You just said Eli Brooks is your starting.
Yeah, I think Smith's gonna play the 2.
Oh, give me a break.
And I think
this team's a joke. They're missing the tournament.
Brooks,
they're missing the NIT.
Brooks Smith.
They might not even make the CIT.
Brooks Smith, Livers, Wagner, and I would say probably Austin Davis. We got 3 4-stars coming in to come off the bench, as well as Brandon Johns.
I forgot. Michigan lost 2 generational type big men. They lost Colin Castleton.
Yes,
also.
we did lose Colin Castleton. That's a fair point. But listen, this is a really, really good team. They got some great athletes, great players. I think they're going to be a very good team, have a good season. All right, Ohio State preview.
Yeah, Ohio State's going to be the best team in the Big Ten. I'm not even joking. We are so underrated this year. We have 4 guys on our team that averaged 12 points or more with their previous team or with us. And I think we're just going to run the table, to be honest with you.
All right.
It's not even a joke.
Let's see. Ohio State.
Chris Holtman put together the perfect out of conference schedule. Have to start off with some warm up games, saying no one's played in about 8 months, and then move in. We have teams like Notre Dame, North Carolina. It's a perfect out of conference schedule he's put together. But I will say we did get screwed by the Big Ten, saying we have to play Illinois twice, Iowa twice, Michigan State twice, and Rutgers twice.
Well, it's all based on previous years, so.
Yeah, and we got screwed.
Nuts and bolts. Okay.
Northwestern twice, Purdue twice.
Northwestern.
Penn State twice. They're gonna be playing with a chip on their shoulder after what's his face is gone.
Yes, is that a topic? Are we going to talk about that?
No.
I will say we do play Michigan State on January 1st in Columbus. January 31st in Columbus, and I remember the last time we played them, January 31st in Columbus.
Was that the Andrew Dockich game?
Dockich! The Dockich game.
Was that actually?
No, I think it was January 1st. I totally made that up. But
all right. I have Ohio State number 6 in the Big Ten.
That's absurd.
I have Rutgers ahead of them. Michigan's right behind them. I think Ohio State's a very good team. Their guard play is going to be very good. C.J. Jackson's back. Dwayne Washington will start for them this year. They got E.J. Liddell underneath. He's got to take
Brown,
that next
the
step.
sharpshooting freshman.
The guy from Harvard, what's his name?
Yeah, Seth Towns. Our front court's probably our best part. We just don't have a true center. That's our one issue, I think.
Yeah, we'll see how Ohio State fares against the traditional Big Ten big man, like Luka Garza, the guy from Illinois, Cockburn, the guy from Wisconsin. Well, both Wisconsin big men, including your former center, Micah Potter, who might win the Big Ten Player of the Year this
he's
year.
the Wooden Award. He's going to win the Wooden Award.
That's right. He'll be up there for sure. Ohio State's going to be good. Non-conference schedule's good, so I have no concerns about that. Conference, everybody's going to have plenty of chances to win conference games. I think the Big Ten's going to get
they're going to have about 20
9 to 11 teams in the tournament this year again. I think they're going to be very good.
They'll have about 20 chances, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. They'll have 20 chances in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's a very solid team. I have them number 7 right now in the Big Ten.
That is disrespectful.
Okay, well, I have Rutgers ahead of them. I think Rutgers is very good. But anyways, solid. They did lose. They lost some guys from last year. Caleb Wesson. I hate to see it. How has he not been signed yet, Luke?
Well, he's using all the leverage he has because so many teams want him right now. He's just using them to get more money. It's genius. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing actually. He was a business major at Ohio State, so he's just using it to his advantage.
Well, his brother was better.
Business major? You're kidding me? You tell me that Caleb Wesson went to a single class at Ohio State.
Yeah, he did. He went to all of his classes.
Give me a break.
He has a PhD in business. He did it in 3 years. Smartest kid we've ever had.
Does he have a PhD in getting high and failing drug tests?
Nope, because he's never done that.
Oh, really?
Because he's been too busy studying for his business classes.
All right.
It was just the Adderall he was taking to study.
I will say the biggest, most underrated thing about Ohio State is Justice Suing, the transfer from California who had to sit out last year. Averaged 14 points a game his freshman year at California on the crappiest program probably in the Pac-12. He is the most underrated player coming into the Big Ten. Everyone's talking about Seth Towns, which we'll see. He seems to be injury prone. Hopefully we can keep him healthy for the tournament. But Justice Suing is going to put this team on his back scoring-wise.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at Seth Towns here. I think Ohio State is – my problem with Ohio State is they just – I'm going to go with Mike's argument here. They don't recruit like Michigan and Michigan State do in basketball.
Yeah, well, then why would we have played Michigan?
That's not true.
It is true. That is true. So I'm going to look at –
They get transfers.
No. You can't count Ivy League transfers because I bring up Mike Smith and my argument is completely invalidated.
I'm not talking about their Ivy League transfer. I'm talking about Justice Suing.
All right. So we're going to move on.
And here's the other thing. Here's the thing. How we don't recruit even though we had this incoming freshman class was the number 2 class in the Big Ten last year? Yeah, give me a break.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, by average.
By average.
Oh, my God. Okay, we're moving on.
We only had 2 guys because we didn't have many spots.
Who's the best team in the Big Ten?
Not Iowa. Iowa's not going to – my hot take of the year is Iowa won't be in the top 4.
I thought you were going to say they weren't going to make the tournament for a second.
No, they won't be in the top 4 of the Big Ten. They will not get a double bye in the Big Ten tournament. That's my hot take of the year. The best team in the Big Ten is I want to say either Illinois. When you say best team, do you mean team that's the best chance to win the national championship, or do you mean the team that's going to have the best record in the Big Ten?
Who is the best team in the Big Ten?
Okay, so I'm going to go with the best record in the Big Ten. I'm going to guess probably Wisconsin's going to end up with the 1 seed.
I thought you just said Ohio State was going to run the table.
Well, they are going to run the table, but we're going to get screwed. So
yeah, COVID's going to hit their program.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
Okay. I think by far the most talented team in the Big Ten has got to be Illinois.
I agree. I was gonna say Illinois, but for some reason I just feel like they're gonna choke.
Yeah, that is a good point, and they haven't really. I mean, they had a really good year last year in conference. They won a lot of close games, and Brad Underwood's a very good coach. I think this is his year for sure. Because after this year, they're losing Sumu. They're going to lose. They might lose Cockburn, and they might lose that Miller kid, the high 4-star, low 5-star recruit, depending on the service you're looking at, that they're bringing in, who's going to be a complement to those two. Right now, I have Illinois at the top. I think Illinois, like the top four, I think are pretty close. But here's the one thing about Iowa that concerns me.
They don't play defense.
Let me bring it back to 2016. The Iowa Hawkeyes were number 3 in the country. Number 3 in the country. Okay? Under Fran McCaffrey, they were a very good team. They started like 5-0 in the Big Ten, and they lost like 11 of their last 13, maybe not 11 of their last 13. But they went on not a very good streak of basketball. Ended up with the 7 seed and barely beat Temple in the first round and lost the second round. It just happens every year. They get off to a good start, and because they don't play defense, they listen. When fatigue happens later on in the season, it's your defense that carries you through that. And they don't have a defense. It's as simple as that. Offense doesn't travel. Offense doesn't travel. I think Iowa's the 4th team right now. I think Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan State. I still think it's those 4, but we just have to see it from Iowa. We haven't seen it before from them.
Well, offense does travel because to travel you need the ball, and if you have the ball, that means you're on offense, or else you can't get a travel call called on you. But
all right.
Last year Iowa was 13th in the Big Ten in scoring defense. 13th. That's unacceptable.
And even last year, they were way better than they were the year before. So they went from being just atrocious to being horrible, but not as atrocious as they were 2 years ago.
They've been in the bottom 3 the last 3 years in defense. Fran McCaffrey doesn't teach defense, and it's going to come back to bite him right in the behind.
I don't think he doesn't teach defense. I just don't think he has the athletes to play defense.
Sure.
All right, you guys
Whatever
done?
the reasoning behind it, it's concerning.
You guys done?
Do you think his son Patrick McCaffrey's going to come in here? His other son, he's got 2 sons now on the team. Think he's going to come in and play great defense?
Yes.
The guy who got injured, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but he started first couple games, injured for the year. The shooting
Jordan
guard.
Bohannon.
No, the other guy. Bohannon's coming back. He plays no defense. But the other guy that was I can't remember his name, but he's coming back also. He doesn't play defense, so you're not bringing in any defenders. Then the pencil guy's leaving. He's the only guy who played defense, and he transferred out. I mean, come on.
Okay, you guys done? Okay. So,
Yes.
I believe that the 2 best teams in this conference are Iowa and Wisconsin.
Yeah, and you're always wrong.
And I will say that because of the experience. Both teams return. Wisconsin returns most of their roster. Iowa,
the experience of playing shitty defense.
Illinois returns all their face to everybody too.
Iowa literally returns.
Except for Kipper Nichols.
Iowa literally returns their entire team. No,
Ryan Kriener.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? That's not their entire team. Ryan Kriener was a big part of their team.
All right, so we have Garza, who was the best player in the country last year. Connor McCaffrey, who's an elite defender.
We're off the rails already.
He's an elite defender. He's an elite passer.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my God.
All right. Joe
He
Wieskamp.
can't shoot to save his life.
Joe Wieskamp, we all agree, is a great player.
He is good.
Bohannon, we all know is a great player.
He's all right. He's overrated, though.
Joe Toussaint is a great player. He plays a lot of defense, very scrappy.
He doesn't play a lot of defense.
He doesn't play a lot of defense. No one on Iowa plays.
C.J. Frederick might be the best shooter in the conference. And
okay, let me ask you this question.
No, hold on, I'm not
When
done.
was the last-
There's one more player I want to talk about.
I don't care.
No, I
When was-
refuse.
when
No.
was the-
I have to talk about this player, then you can talk. Patrick McCaffrey! Redshirted last year. He's here this year. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be great.
He's too busy playing baseball. He's too busy playing baseball.
Luke, the one thing that concerns me about Patrick McCaffrey is He's coming back from. Isn't he the guy with cancer? That's really going to hurt the other teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be allowed to
All
play.
right. Okay.
that's true.
All right. So, anyways, this
Here's
team.
the thing, though, Chris. When was the last time in any sport, in football or basketball, that a team that is returning all their talent from the previous year and now everyone that had a great year and now everyone thinks it's going to be the greatest team ever has ever performed well? It's never happened.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Name one.
I can name you
Chris,
countless teams.
Name them.
2013 Michigan.
No. No one thought they were going to be good. They weren't touted as the best team in the conference.
I still think Iowa is going to be very good, but they just haven't proven it over the years that they can win with this style of basketball, or that they can compete for a Big Ten championship. I do agree this is the best team they've had, but they still haven't proven it. And it's Jack Nunge, the guy I was talking about, who got injured early in the year last year.
Okay. This team is the best team because they have the experience. And let's see. Am I going to be ready to say this? They have.
Oh, God.
Get ready for this. They have the best coach in this conference. Fran McCaffrey.
All right, you want to...
Fran McCaffrey.
Luke leaves the call.
Fran McCaffrey is the best team in this conference. Best coach in this conference.
He's the best team now. Okay, what is it? Is he a coach? Is he a player?
He preaches great offense. The team's always great on offense, and they're going to be experienced enough to be to be great on defense.
That might have been the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
All right, well, it's true. All right. That's enough. Let's move.
Okay, so, yeah. Well, how many tournament wins does he have? One, maybe? I don't even know.
All right, so we've basically predicted
one last
who will win the Big Ten. Let's get to the other Power 6 conferences. I guess there's 5 other conferences. All right.
No, we got to get to the American.
All right, let's start with the Pac-12. Who's going to win the Pac-12?
I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be doing a podcast with you, would I? I'm going to go with Oregon. No, I'm going with UCLA. Mick Cronin. UCLA.
Well, I will admit the Pac-12 is probably the league I know least about. Maybe the Big East.
That's embarrassing.
I'm not really a Big East guy. You run through the conference, run through the coaches. Oregon, they got, what's his name?
Dana Altman.
They got Dana Holtman, and they also got Eugene Amaruyi.
They hired the football coach from Houston?
Yeah, Major Applewhite.
No, Dana Holgerson.
No. Is that what Chris said? Did he actually say?
I said Dana Altman, then you said Dana.
No,
then you said Dana Holtman.
Dana Holgerson. Anyways, let me run through the teams here. Give me a freaking break. I'm trying to look up the standings.
Well, everyone's 0-0, so.
Yeah, like Luke said, UCLA is very good. Mick Cronin. They got some good recruits, I'm pretty sure. They got a couple.
Doesn't matter. They have Mick Cronin. That's all that matters.
But he is. He's a very good coach. Oregon's good, but they did lose Anthony Mathis. I mean,
Doesn't matter. They have Mick Cronin.
They can replace Peyton Pritchard because he sucks. But
no, that's ridiculous. He's the best player in the NBA.
They did. I'm pretty sure Oregon lost their entire starting 5 because C.J. Jackson, who is not related to the Ohio State C.J. Jackson, transferred to UCF. Stanford, I'm sure they're high in these power rankings, but I don't even know anything about them.
They're never good. Everyone always hypes Stanford up in the last 3 years.
I mean, they would have made the tournament last year. They would have made the tournament last year. They didn't make it. No, they didn't make it. They did miss the tournament. Arizona State's supremely overrated. I don't want to hear anything about Arizona State. They do have a great coach, Bobby Hurley. He's doing good things there. He's for the first time ever. He's out recruiting Arizona.
Yes, Bobby Hurley.
Yeah, he got what's his name, Mohammed.
Well, I mean,
Luther
to be
Muhammad.
fair to Bobby Hurley, it's hard to out recruit Sean Miller.
Yeah, it is, and it just happens to be. It's a sheer coincidence that the 1 year he has, Sean Miller's in a big scandal. Well, I guess Sean Miller's in a big scandal every year, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, Remy Martin, one of the best players in the country, but I feel like Arizona State's a lot of egos on that team. I'm not confident that Arizona State's going to be great. And the rest of the conference is kind of irrelevant, to be honest with you. Arizona's really not that good. Colorado's decent, but Washington's bad. I mean, it's not really. I think the Pac-12's bad again. I mean, they were a little bit better last year than they were a couple years ago, but I think they're back to being irrelevant again.
Yeah, I agree. This I think it's going to be a historically bad season for the Pac-12. I think Oregon is really, really
okay. I don't know about that. Remember 2 years ago they got like 2 teams in. And
I think it might be worse. I think they might only get one team in the tournament.
Well, they need to fire the commissioner. What's his name? The commissioner?
Larry Scott.
Yeah, Larry Scott's got to go. He's the worst commissioner in
Okay, but let's be honest. What would you do differently?
I would just not be named Larry Scott. Whatever Larry Scott did, I'd do the exact opposite.
Here's the problem with the Pac-12. They have a bunch of like low-level Power 5 teams, like Colorado. All the teams in the Pac-12 South.
Low-level Power 5 teams like USC, UCLA,
okay,
Washington, Oregon. These are historically good programs, low level.
No, Oregon and USC, I'll give you those two.
UCLA,
Washington's
like
decent.
the greatest
Washington's
basketball program of all time.
Yeah, but they've been in. Listen, UCLA's the Nebraska of college basketball. They've been good. They haven't been good in 25
Yeah, except
years.
the fact Nebraska is located in the middle of nowhere, and UCLA is in the middle of LA, like the nicest part of LA.
Oh yeah, then listen, that's a fair point. I think they're going in the right
ton
direction
of booster
with
money.
Mick Cronin. They're going in the right direction with Mick Cronin, but right now they're not what they used to be, obviously. And then the rest of the teams, Arizona State, they're decent programs. Colorado's a joke. Utah, they're all right.
Well, Utah's second fiddle in their state.
What?
Utah is second fiddle in their state.
Yeah, I guess you could say that probably. You could even say third fiddle. Utah State basketball's picked it up a little bit.
Oh, and Utah Southern.
So, yes, exactly. Yeah, listen, especially Pac-12 basketball. Nobody cares about Pac-12 basketball. There was a couple of year stretch where they were good when they had Oregon was really good when they had Dylan Brooks. Arizona was very good. Who else was very good? I don't know. A couple other teams are good. But it's not really a good product anymore.
Well, they ran out of money to pay the players.
All right. So, yeah, I think Mike's right. I think this is going to be a really bad season for the Pac-12. Oregon, they lost a lot of their best players. Mike, you were right about that. UCLA is really poorly coached.
What?
Yeah, February Mick.
No. Mick is a great regular season coach.
Yeah, February. His best month. He struggled in the tournament. His best month is February.
Yeah, well, good thing they're playing the tournament in May this year because he can't choke in March.
All right. Anyways, Arizona State. I like Arizona State. I think they're a really talented team. But Mike, you're right. We saw Josh Christopher. I'm not sure about. A lot of people have talked about his ego. We'll see what happens.
Oh God, he's a head case, absolute head case.
Yeah. So
he cannot get enough of himself.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm really concerned here about the Pac-12. Arizona, obviously Sean Miller's in a scandal, as always. So we'll see what happens with that.
Nope, he's clean. Thad Matta said he was clean.
Yeah. But listen, this is going to be a little outlandish here, and I know some of my takes are outlandish. But with how bad some of these other teams are, and with the experience this team brings back, I think Stanford's going to win the Pac-12.
The experience of not making the tournament.
Well, they would have made it. Never mind. They did miss it last year.
Experience doesn't matter when you suck.
They recruited well. They brought back some talent. I think this is going to be a pretty good.
You can't say they're going to win because of experience and then say they brought in a bunch of good freshmen.
Well, they did bring in some good freshmen, and they have some experience. They have both. That's what you need. And they
I
have
love
it.
the Jimmies and Joes.
I think they're going to win the conference. Okay, next conference. The SEC.
Kentucky. Coach Calipari is the best coach in the country. That's it. End of score. End of discussion. Next conference.
Well, I'm pretty sure Kentucky only has one player coming back in their entire program.
That's one more than what they usually have.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that is true. Let's see. You got Kentucky, very good team. I think Florida's being slept on. They were supremely overrated going into last year, and they're underrated going into this year. I think this is a big year for Mike White.
Yeah, they have the worst coach in the country.
Yeah, missed the tournament last year. Can't do that again. Yeah, I think Tennessee's going to be really good.
No, they're overrated.
Very good regular season coach. But listen, the SEC is exactly how the SEC usually is. I think they have a clear top four, I would say. LSU is going to be decent again this year. Will Wade, one thing he can do is really
pay his players.
Yeah, one thing he can do is pay his players, and that's what he does. He's got some decent players coming in, including Shaq's son. But it's more of a top three, I think. Tennessee, Florida, and Kentucky.
Oh no.
I'll give it to Kentucky, I guess. I mean,
they have the best coach.
Yeah, I'd say the top three is definitely Tennessee, Kentucky, and LSU, not Florida.
No. What are you talking about?
LSU is going to be good, but I'm going to get.
What about your guy Buzz? What's going on?
Listen, they're going to be really solid, but I don't know if they can take the next step this year. We'll see.
According to these power rankings, they're going to be number 11.
Yeah,
number 11 in the
that's
SEC.
ridiculous. I have them at number 4.
Yeah, number 4 in the SEC West.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with
Tom Crean's at 13. Come on.
I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Don't disrespect Tom Crean like that.
I think Tennessee brings in a lot of talent, and I know they don't have a ton of experience, but it doesn't matter because the SEC absolutely sucks, and they'll win. They'll win the conference.
The SEC does suck, but they're just carried by John Calipari.
Well, he's a terrible coach, so.
Well, he's the best coach in the country, so.
All right, next conference, the ACC.
Well, I'm going with Louisville because I think this Kentucky-Louisville matchup this year is going to be one of the best of all time.
Okay.
All right. Interesting. Listen, I'm looking for a bounce back year for the ACC. It was a really rough season last year. They had 0 tournament teams. It was not the year they were looking for. I think they're going to be it's going to be a lot more even, I think, this year than previous years. They've got a bunch, like 8 or 9 tournament/bubble teams. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think Virginia. I have Virginia number 1 right now, and I think
no, they suck.
No, they were 23-7 on a down year, and they almost won the conference. I mean, that's a down year for Virginia, and they couldn't score. And they brought in Sam Hauser for a year. He's going to be very good. He might play even another year because this year doesn't count. And Tony Bennett's a great coach. We all know that. Virginia's good. Duke will be all right. The thing about Duke is they returned some players, and they don't usually do that. So I think Duke will be better than they were last year.
Oh, Georgia Tech. They're my sleeper team.
Yep, sleeper team in more than one way.
Yes.
Florida State's going to be good. They're a tournament level team for sure. Very solid. Louisville's going to be solid again. They lost Jordan Ward. They lost Ryan McMahon, but they've got some talent. I think it'll take it'll take into the middle of the season for them to get it together. North Carolina, I don't know. We'll see. They got a bunch of young guys in there. They got what's his name back for his 10th year, Garrison Brooks. They'll be all right.
And he'll be back next year.
Yeah, he'll be back next year also. They're a tournament level team. Georgia Tech's a tournament level team. They bring back everybody off a good season. And they got a really good coach who's willing to put his body on the line for them. NC State, who the hell knows? I have no idea anything about NC State. They just bring in these no names I've never heard of, and they always go 10-10 in the ACC every year. I would be shocked if they do the same thing. Syracuse.
Yeah, and shout out to Boston College for finally being included in the ACC Big Ten Challenge for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, and then after the top 7, after NC State, Syracuse will be on the bubble for the 20th straight year. Clemson will be on the bubble. Miami will be on the bubble. Virginia Tech, and then below that, who the hell knows? I think Notre Dame could be a bubble team. Pittsburgh might be a bubble team, and then after that, it's
Boston College is definitely they're probably bubbling in.
Yeah, BC's horrible.
Yeah, they'll be on the bubble for the first week, and then they'll be 0-3, and they'll be off the bubble.
Yeah.
One player I'll be looking for in BC is Nick Galley. We'll see how much playing time he gets.
Yeah.
Wake Forest, who the hell knows? It's going to take a couple years for Steve Forbes to do anything there. So, yeah, there you go. Top 7, maybe 7 deep this year for the ACC.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. 7 deep. I'll probably include Syracuse in there to make the tournament just because of the great coaching of Jim Boeheim. But
yes.
I'll take.
Hopefully, he can coach better than he can drive.
Yeah, I'll take Virginia to win the conference. I agree with Mike; they're the best team. As for the rest of the conference, my sleeper is North Carolina. I think they're going to have a very good year. I think they'll finish. I do think they'll finish second.
How can North Carolina be a sleeper?
Because they are.
Okay.
Duke, I think is going to have a down year. I will be saying that for the 30th straight year. I hate Duke with a passion, and I hope they have a terrible season. I think Florida State's going to be a very good team again. Leonard Hamilton's a great coach. And we'll see where that takes
He's
him.
probably the second best coach in the ACC.
Yeah, behind Jim Christian.
No, behind Pastner.
Okay, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say because this conference sucks. Let's move into some good conferences here. The Big 12.
The Big 12. Well, obviously, you got Shaka in Texas. Kansas, obviously, will be up there. They're up there every year. But I think this is actually going to be kind of a sleeper team, underrated league. I like Baylor a lot. They probably scheduled the hardest out-of-conference schedule I've ever seen in my life. And who else will be up there? I'm just trying to think who even is in the league. Texas Tech, obviously, yes. Chris Beard is one of the best coaches in the country. Texas, I said. Oh, West Virginia, Bobby Huggins. He is gonna have a big bounce back year with West Virginia. They're gonna be a top 3 team in the Big 12. They're gonna break into that top 3.
Year. They were good last year.
No, bounce back year.
So bounce back to what they were 2 years ago. Complete garbage.
Yeah.
No, bounce back year. Iowa State is gonna suck.
Exactly.
Oklahoma State's gonna suck. TCU's gonna suck. Kansas State's gonna suck. This is not the year the Big 12 gets all 10 teams in the tournament, unfortunately. But they'll probably get, I think, 6 teams. I'm going to pick Baylor to win. So you're going to have Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, Texas, West Virginia, and probably Oklahoma, if I had to guess.
The Big 12, I think there's a clear top 5. And then after that, I think it's kind of bubble to shit. Baylor, very good team, returns most of their players. Very, very good. I expect them to probably be right there at the top with Kansas. I expect they'll be very good too. They lose Azubuike, but the team IQ will go up with that loss. So you gotta keep that in mind. Devon Dotson, he leaves too. That's a big loss. I think right now it's a clear number 1. And that would be Texas and Shaka Smart. I'm taking for the second straight year. I'm taking Texas to win it. They return everybody, and they bring in some talented freshmen. It's going to be a very good year for Texas basketball. My guy, Shaka Smart, is going to get a big extension there. And I'll also mention Texas Tech as well. Good team. They got, what's his name, the transfer?
Mac McClung.
I think once he gets into a real conference, he'll be relegated to the bench because the Big East is nothing on the Big 12. But anyway, I think it's Texas 1, Baylor 2, Texas Tech 3, Kansas 4, and number 5, West Virginia. They're decent. And then after that, it's complete shit. Oklahoma sucks. Brady Mann is
Texas
might
have the most depressing 2 coaches if you look at football and basketball coaches, they might have the most depressing, overrated coaches in the country.
No, what are you talking about?
If I was a Texas booster, I'd be going to Texas Tech. I'd be picking my stuff up and moving to Lubbock.
Well, maybe for basketball.
No, for everything.
Baseball.
Texas
certainly.
Tech has had more Pro Bowlers drafted in the last 5 years than Texas has.
All right. Luke.
Anyways, no, I gotta keep going. Iowa State, they suck. Oklahoma State, who the hell knows? I don't know anything about Oklahoma State. This Cade Cunningham guy, we'll see how he plays.
Aren't they on a tournament ban?
They might be. I'm pretty sure they are actually. I can't remember, but yeah, TCU. I mean, they're number 9 in these power rankings, but I think TCU. Listen, you cannot underestimate the Jamie Dixon effect. TCU could be a tournament team just because of their head coach.
Okay.
And they did lose.
And
that's
the all-time winningest coach in the ACC.
In the Big East.
Big East.
Big East, yeah. They did lose, what's his name, Desmond Bain, first-round pick. But they do have R.J. Nembhard back, very good player. And Kansas State, they're building something. In a couple of years, they'll be back to being a good team. But this isn't their year quite yet.
Yeah, I think the clear number 1 is Baylor here, and I agree with Luke's assessment of the tournament teams. I was gonna throw Oklahoma State in there, and then I remembered they were on a tournament ban because they were doing a great job of incentivizing players to come there. Great work.
Yeah, pretty sure
by hiring their family members as coaches.
Yeah. So good work by them. Kansas number 2, and after that, I think everybody else is kind of mediocre. I think Texas will be on the bubble. I don't know if they'll get in or not. We'll see.
Give me a break.
So, that's my Big 12 breakdown. Now, let's move on to one of the best conferences in college basketball, maybe the best, the Big East.
The American Athletic.
No, the Big East.
So I'm going to be taking Gonzaga to win. St. Mary's will challenge them. Pepperdine will be all right. But I think, obviously...
BYU.
I think, obviously, Gonzaga is the runaway favorite here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Gonzaga is the best team in the country right now.
All right, so I'll break down the Big East here since you guys don't want to. So we'll start here with
the Big East. Big East. You said
so
the best conference in college basketball.
We'll start with Villanova.
UCC.
I think Villanova is clearly the best team in this conference coming into this year. I think they'll win the conference, but look at these other teams.
Okay. That's enough. I'll go with my preview. My Big East preview. I'll go way in depth because that's what you want.
I will too.
Coming in last, I have at number 11 because there's 11 teams. DePaul.
No.
They are gonna. Yes, they went 3-15 last year after starting off hot as heck.
DePaul has the former Red Claws coach.
Okay, so I'm gonna put them 12th then.
Okay.
At number 10, I have Georgetown because what's his face there? Their Hall of Fame coach,
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing. I can't believe I was blanking on his name. They had such a bad end of the year last year. Everything was falling out.
He looks like, and he reminds me of Mike Loxley.
Okay. Number 9. Number 9, I have Providence.
Okay.
Ed Cooley.
All right. No. Okay. All right.
They have a low ceiling. I do like David Duke. He's gonna have to step up big for Providence. He improved his 3-point shooting, 42% from 3 last year. But he'll have to step up again if the Friars want to have a chance. What am I? Number 8, I have Butler because they are Brad Stevens' former school and Chris Holtman's former school, so that automatically puts them at number 8. At number 7, I got the St. Johnnies, just because they accepted me when I applied there. What am I on? Number 6?
Yeah.
Number 6, we're gonna go with Xavier. I do like Xavier, but they're going to make the tournament, but they've been struggling the last couple of years after they had that high of highs when they got up to number 2 in the country, number 4 in the country, something like that. Number 5, we're going to go with Actually, no. We're going to go 6 Marquette, 5 Xavier, because DJ Carton's on Marquette, so that automatically puts him down 3 spots because he's a head case, literally and figuratively. Number 4, we're going to have Seton Hall. They are losing Miles Powell. Obviously, that's a big loss. Also, Quincy McKnight is leaving them. But they still have. Other than that, they have the majority of their team coming back. They have a key arrival, actually, transfer from Canisius. And Canisius, we all know, is the best underrated program in the country in the double MAC. Number 3 is going to be Creighton, because they have Coach Doug McBuckets, who he was in a little scandal, but he'll be all right because he's a great coach. And then we're going to go for number 1 and then number 2, because if I say number 2 first, it will ruin number 1. I'm going number 1, the UConn Huskies. Dan Hurley is going to coach his team to number 1. They're going to upset Villanova twice, and they're going to win the Big East, either the tournament or the regular season. Whichever one they win is which one matters. And then my second best team is Villanova.
It's hard to top that, Mike.
I will be rooting for UConn to win the Big East, because if they do, that'll show the Americans a way better conference. It'll show the Americans an 8 times better conference, because they finished 8th in the American last year. Anyway, let me do a similar thing Luke did. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll go from the top. Obviously, you got Villanova. They returned basically everybody from last year. Very good coach team. I expect them to win it. Creighton's going to be good. Are they going to be as good as they were last year? Maybe. Who knows? They might be a little better. But they did miss the tournament last year, so you got to keep that in mind. And the rest of the conference, I don't even freaking know. I mean, it's just a bunch of bubble, maybe 9, 10 seed, 8 seeds. That's all I see from the Big East right now. I see two or three really good teams. Providence will be decent. And then after that, it's just nothing. I mean, DePaul's going to suck. Georgetown's going to be historically bad. St. John's, who the heck knows? Butler, they're going to be. They lost a bunch of players from last year. Marquette, they lost some players, and I don't think they're going to be better than last year. Providence might be better. Xavier, they're kind of the unknown. You don't really know much about Xavier. They were good last year. Didn't quite. I don't think they were projected to make the tournament, but they were kind of there. They were up there. UConn was bad. They're getting younger. Or they were young last year. They're getting a little bit older. I don't think they're going to be that good. And Seton Hall, who the heck knows anything about Seton Hall either? I mean, they got the what's it called? The guy, I can't even pronounce his name, but he played well against Michigan State. And they got a good coach who will be leaving for BC because, as Jeff Goodman says, BC's a better job than Seton Hall.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to do a similar thing that Luke did. Let's go through the teams here. Number 11, I have Georgetown. I believe they're going to be historically bad. I think this is Patrick Ewing's last year. They're going to have a really bad
news.
season.
I already said that.
Number 10, I have DePaul. This is a team I think is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, so that's why you're putting him at number 10.
Well, the conference is just so deep. Dave Leitao.
Yeah, deep in shit.
Dave Leitao is an elite coach. Let me tell you, this guy, when he was coaching the Red Claws, they were at the top. They were at the top of their game. He's an elite coach. I expect him to be pretty good.
Well, when you're coaching a G League team, you don't shop for the groceries. You have to shop for the groceries when you're in college.
Well, obviously, when he was in the G League, Danny wasn't giving him G League All-Stars like he is now.
That's true. Number 9, I have Butler. As Mike said, they lost a lot of guys. Tough break for Butler. But, they'll be back in a couple of years. St. John's at number 8. I think they'll be able to retool a little bit. I think this is a team. This is where I start having the tournament teams. I think 8 teams get in from the Big East this year. St. John's is one of them. I think they'll be able to find a way in the tournament. They're pretty talented. So this is a team that'll make it. Number 7, I have Marquette. Tough losing Marcus Howard. But they'll be okay. Wojo will get them ready to play. It'll be a bubble and in team.
He's horrible.
Number 6 is
He should be
Xavier.
fired.
Xavier just always finds a way to compete. Travis Steele's a good coach. This is going to be a team probably 9 or 10 seed. I think this is a pretty solid team. Might give Villanova and Creighton some problems when they play them. Number 5.
I hope so.
Number 5, I have Seton Hall. It's tough to lose Powell, but Kevin Willard has proven he is a top 5 coach in the country.
Well, Seton Hall's a bad job, so he's going to be leaving there.
Well, this is going to be a great year, I think, for Seton Hall. Surprisingly good year for Seton Hall.
Oh, give me a break.
Number 4, I have Connecticut. I think they're going to be very good. They were a young team last year, and they lost a lot of close games. They're getting older.
Okay, that doesn't show anything.
They're going to start winning those close games, and this is going to be a great year for Connecticut. I predict a 6 seed for the University of Connecticut in the tournament.
It's not like Connecticut was playing a bunch of good teams and losing close. They're playing a bunch of Americans.
Well, they did play some good teams in the non-conference and barely lose.
As Chris says, the Americans a joke.
Well, they played good teams in the non-conference and lost.
Who?
Barely.
Who they play?
Well, I don't remember the teams exactly, but I just know that
Indiana?
happened. Well, I know what happened. Okay, moving on. The top 3 is very clear. Very, very clear. It's probably the most clear of any conference who the top 3 is. Number 3 is Providence. They return a lot of talent from last year. They're going to be a very, very, very good team. Probably, I would say, 3 or 4 seed in the tournament. It's a complete travesty that Providence is not ranked. I don't know how that's possible.
Well, if they're ranked 25th in the country, then they would have got their first 5-star in program history.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Creighton's number 2. Was tough losing Alexander to the draft, but listen, this team returns a lot. They're a great team. McDermott's a great coach, and obviously Villanova is number 1. All right, that was a great preview. I'm glad we did that. All right,
yeah, could have got that done in 40 minutes.
Yeah. All right, who's going to win the National Player of the Year?
Micah Potter.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yep. He's a shoo-in.
Well, there's not really. Last year you had a couple clear guys. You had Miles Powell. You had Marcus Howard, Cassius Winston. This year you maybe got 1 or 2 of those guys. Jared Butler at Baylor. Luka Garza for Iowa. Maybe Io DeSumo. But it's not really as clear-cut as it was last year. But listen, I think DeSumo's got too many good players. I think Garza, I don't see him getting better than what he was last year. So I'll have to go down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and pick my guy John Petty to win the National Player of the Year.
That's a great pick. I'm going to go with Colin Gillespie. I couldn't believe last year that he was a junior. He's been there forever.
He'll be back next year.
Yeah, he'll be back next year too. But I think he's going to win the Player of the Year. He's got some talent around him, but he's gonna be the main guy on this team, and he deserves it. He's had a great career, and I think he's gonna have a great year.
It. That's the Mark D'Antonio mentality. That's why we went 3-9 in 2016.
All right,
he don't deserve anything.
Who's going to the Final Four? Who's going to the Final Four?
Ohio State. Baylor. Gonzaga. And the 4th team is always hard. I would say St. Andrews, but unfortunately they don't play a game this year. And I'll go with, let me see. Creighton.
Let's go.
Okay. I got Virginia, Wisconsin, Baylor. It's kind of tough this early, but I'll pick a kind of an upset pick. I'll take Florida State. I don't know. That's kind of the team you pick a random team for the 4th. And I have Virginia winning it.
Yeah, I have Villanova, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Providence. And I have
not a single one of those teams is going to make You might go 0-4.
I have Iowa winning it.
You legitimately
That's worse than
pick like the
Florida
4 best
State
teams,
pick.
and you might go 0-4.
I have Iowa winning it because I predicted Iowa win the national championship this year at the beginning of last year.
You're an idiot.
Okay.
Oh my God! I could definitely see Iowa pulling an LSU, and all of a sudden just winning every game. I could definitely see it.
All right.
That's what terrifies me.
Let's get to the picks. We have some great picks today. We'll start with Bowling Green at number 25, Michigan.
Well, I remember last time Michigan played an Ohio team. In anything, they probably lost. But I'm going to go with Michigan.
Did Michigan play Ohio State twice last year? I can't remember in basketball.
Yeah, and we beat them twice.
Did you beat them twice?
Yeah.
I remember you beat them at the Big House, or the fuck they call that.
Yeah, and we beat them in Columbus.
Listen,
There's the Caleb Weston. There's not the Caleb Weston game. The Kyle Young game where they tore his shirt. Xavier Simpson cheating, trying to injure him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a garbage call.
Yeah, that was Bush League, absolute Bush League. I remember last year, first game of the year, Michigan. Who were they playing? I can't remember who they were playing. Was it Holy Cross?
That was 2 years ago, and you picked Holy Cross.
I picked Holy Cross to win, and Holy Cross is leading at halftime. Oh yeah, they played App State last year to start the year. I'm taking Bowling Green.
Okay. Next game. Winthrop versus.
Are you not going to pick the game?
Oh, I'm taking Michigan. Next game. Winthrop versus Seton Hall.
Seton Hall. Even though Winthrop always seems to have a good team.
I'm taking Seton Hall.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Seton Hall in this game. I think it's going to be close, though. Rhode Island versus Stephen F. Austin.
I don't know anything about either team, but I'll go with Rhode Island.
That's a good pick. That's a very good pick. I'm taking Rhode Island. They were very good last year. I'm pretty sure they beat Providence pretty good, and I think they might beat them again. Rhode Island's a good team.
Yeah, I like Rhode Island. I agree they're a very good team. New England is going to have a great year in college basketball. I'll take Rhode Island. All right, Radford at Virginia Tech.
Well, I got to go with the best coach in the country at Radford. So I'm going with Radford.
Yeah, Chris, I know why Chris put this game on here, and he knows what team I'm picking. I'm going with Mike Jones and the Radford, where the hell they are. I don't even know what they're – oh, the Highlanders, right?
No, they're the Radishes.
I'm taking Radford.
I will also take no, just kidding. I'm taking Virginia Tech.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding. Taking Virginia Tech. All right. Number 22, UCLA at San Diego State.
Yeah, UCLA, Mick Cronin.
San Diego State, haven't really heard about them in a while. They were good a couple years ago. They weren't that good last year. I don't know if they're going to be good this year. I don't really look in on them. I'm going to take UCLA. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, I'll take UCLA as well. It'll be close, though. All right, well, this next game is our game of the week. Neutral site game, number 4, Virginia versus Maine.
Yeah, I'll take Virginia.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, good teams win, great teams cover. Virginia's a good team, they'll win, but Maine will cover. They're a great team.
Yeah, and I find this ridiculous. If this game was being played at the Alfond, I would take Maine. But Virginia just refuses to go to the Alfond, so I guess.
Well, but since they're playing at the Bangor Civic Center instead.
No, they're playing, I believe, in Connecticut somewhere. But you know.
Oh, yeah, well, let's just go to the center of COVID and play a basketball game.
That
sounds like a smart.
Well, they're trying to get the big games in, and this is a big game. I guess I'll take Virginia. I'll be rooting hard for Maine, though. I hope they get the dub. All right. Memphis versus St. Mary's.
Penny Hardaway is a horrible coach. I'll take which St. Mary's is it?
What St. Mary's do you think it is?
It depends.
Is it Mount St. Mary's or is it St. Mary's?
All right, let's make the pick.
Is it St. Mary's, the one in
all right,
California?
Luke picks Memphis.
Nope. Is it St. Mary's? Is it the one in California?
Make the pick.
Is it the one in California?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going with them.
Interesting game. You know, Penny Hardaway will have like 7 or 8 5-stars, but they've never even played basketball before. Coming in.
You want to talk about something that's ridiculous. Someone commits to Memphis, and Penny Hardaway, instead of paying them to come to Memphis, he pays the recruiting rankings to make him a 5-star. So it makes him look better as a coach. He saves his job.
Yeah, listen, St. Mary's was good last year. I have no idea how good they're going to be this year.
Oh, they're going to be very good.
I'm taking Memphis.
Yeah, I assume St. Mary's will be solid, and I don't trust Penny Hardaway, so I'll take St. Mary's. All right, Liberty versus Purdue.
Purdue.
Well, Liberty has historically been a very good basketball program, especially the past couple of years. I think Purdue's going to be ready. I think they're motivated coming off last year's, I don't want to call it a mess, but it wasn't a great year for their standards. I'm taking Purdue.
Yeah, I'm going to take Purdue as well. Number 3, Villanova versus Boston College.
Villanova.
All right. I'll take Villanova as well. Clemson versus Mississippi State.
Who's the coach at Mississippi State right now?
Good question. It's an irrelevant program. I don't even know.
Well, it's an important one. Let's see. Ben Howland. Who the hell is that? It's his 4th year.
Yep. That name brings up, or that rings a few bells.
Oh, he was at UCLA. He was at Pitt. He was at Northern Arizona. So he was at UCLA before what's-his-face? He was the first college basketball coach in history to be fired after winning an outright power conference title. I'm going to go with Mississippi State.
Jesus. What did he do?
Well, he's not as good as... Oh, it's because of what's-his-face? Who they bringing after him? Alphon? What's his name?
Yeah.
They wanted
Steve
his kid. Yeah, Steve Alford. They wanted his kid.
Oh, yeah. I'm taking Clemson.
I'm going to take Mississippi State because they were pretty good last year. Illinois State. Yep. Illinois State at number 23, Ohio State.
I'm going to take Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Eastern Michigan at number 13. Oh, sorry. Ohio State. Eastern Michigan at number 13, Michigan State.
This freaking thing again.
Wait, what's the game?
Eastern Michigan at Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Good teams win, great teams cover. Michigan State wins and covers. They're a great team.
Michigan State, but Eastern Michigan covers. Number 2.
They can't cover as an underdog.
Yep, they can.
Okay.
Number 2, Baylor versus number 18, Arizona State. Baylor, close. Okay. Wichita State versus Utah State.
Well, Wichita State's in some turmoil. If they hire Thad Matta before the game, I'll go with them. But if not, I'll go with Utah State.
Well, you got the school that's in trouble for the coach hitting their players, and you got the school that's in trouble for being racists. Utah State's been in a lot of trouble for that. I'll go with the racists. Give me Utah State.
All right. Creighton versus South Dakota State.
You gonna pick the game?
Utah State. Creighton versus South Dakota State. All right, Luke, you want to make a pick?
I said the Dominator is no longer there, so I'm taking the other team.
All right.
The Dominator. Creighton.
He actually apparently he went to Wichita State last year.
All right. Our last game is. Oh, sorry. I'm taking Creighton.
Are you gonna pick the game?
I'm taking Creighton. The last game is Bradley at Xavier.
Gotta go with Bradley.
Xavier.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Xavier. Okay, that's gonna do it. Is there anything else anybody wants to add?
Yeah, you're trying to cheat the system and get free wins because you're not picking the games.
Oh, I picked them all. We had some great picks. We'll be back next week. Thank you all. Actually, we'll be back tomorrow with some college football. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back.
Well, they're listening.